Hello, and welcome to Practicum video number 5. This video will provide you with an overview of the documentation necessary to receive approval of your public health practicum. MPH students will use a pre-Practicum Canvas site to submit the documentation required to receive approval for your practicum experience. Roughly halfway through your first fall semester, you will receive an invitation to join the pre-Practicum Canvas site. In Canvas, the course is set up with various modules that you will be expected to work through in order to successfully complete all required assignments. Each module contains step-by-step instructions for working through all the required components. Each piece of required documentation is set up as an assignment with instructions and due dates. If you click on the Assignments tab, you will see the list of required documents that will need to be completed in order to receive approval for your practicum and the permission code to register for the practicum course. The required documents include the Job Skills Assessment, an updated resume or CV, proof of completion of the 2 required online trainings, one for HIPAA and one for Human Subjects Research. For those going abroad, proof of approval from the CSU Office of International Programs, and the Learning Plan and Placement Agreement. Note that you will first submit a draft of both the Learning Plan and Placement Agreement. Note that you will first submit a draft of both the Learning Plan and the Placement Agreement, which will be reviewed by your practicum advisor. Feedback will be provided to you, and then, after making any necessary changes, you will have your preceptor sign the final drafts, which you will then upload as a separate assignment. Again, full instructions for each of these assignments can be found in the pre-Practicum Canvas site. Please keep in mind that the due dates posted for assignments in the pre-Practicum Canvas site are updated each semester to reflect deadlines for the following semester. For example, pre-practicum assignments for a summer practicum will be due in the spring semester. This is the layout of the practicum learning plan with a description of what should be included in each section. You will need to work with your practicum site preceptor, otherwise referred to as your supervisor, to complete the learning plan, but it should be written by you. Please see video number 6 for a detailed description of the information that you will need to enter into each section of the learning plan. The placement agreement is basically the contract stating that the preceptor agrees to host you for the purpose of the practicum. You will need to meet with your preceptor to discuss the topics included in the placement agreement, but the placement agreement should be written by you. Within the placement agreement, you will describe how you will be oriented to the organization, what the dress code is, how you should communicate with your preceptor, what your hours will be, if workspace or tools will be made available to you, and what your start and end dates will be. Be sure to review the syllabus for the semester that you are completing your practicum so that you can make sure your practicum end date is before the date that practicum assignments need to be submitted for a grade. Additionally, the start date cannot be before you have received full practicum approval from your practicum advisor, which is generally indicated by being approved with the registration code to register for the practicum. A draft placement agreement will be submitted in Canvas first. Once your practicum advisor approves your placement agreement, you can then sign and obtain your preceptor's signature and submit as your final version in Canvas. The final step in gaining approval for your practicum involves submitting the practicum in Colorado SPH Connect. Instructions for doing so can be found in Step 3 of the modules in the pre-Practicum Canvas site. When you log in to your Colorado SPH Connect account, you will see on the left-hand side an option to submit a practicum. You will simply follow the steps listed to submit your practicum. You will want to have information from both your learning plan and placement agreement available to enter all the appropriate information. Once you have submitted your practicum, you can then email your practicum advisor to request the approval code to register for the practicum course. The CSU MPH program sets aside funding each year to support student practicum and capstone opportunities. You may request funding for either your practicum or your capstone project, but cannot receive funding for both. The application to request this funding can be found on the CSU MPH website and on the pre-Practicum Canvas site. The amount of the stipend or the number of stipends that are funded may vary from year to year. These requests are funded on a first-come, first-served basis. Any students who are receiving payment for their practicum or who are receiving a stipend for a World Health Organization internship are not eligible to receive this funding. Students do need to have an approved and signed practicum placement agreement or an approved capstone proposal to submit a funding application. Now, you should have a better understanding of the steps needed to receive approval for your practicum experience. When you're ready to learn more about how to complete the practicum learning plan, please watch video number 6. The final video in the practicum video series, video number 7, will give you information on how to successfully complete your practicum.